Liverpool are all in red. Galatasaray are all white. They'll be, as the game is underway, Szoboszlai puts the ball straight out of play for a throw on this near side. So Liverpool are playing from right to left. They're defending the Kop. They have Alisson in goal. And Frimpong is playing as a right back. Van Dijk, Kanate and Kerkez is the rest of the defence. It means Szoboszlai moves back into his more natural position, his best position in midfield with Gravenberch and McAllister. And then a front three of Salah, Wirtz and Ekitike. As Galatasaray, with Yilmaz now in possession, looks for the ball out towards Jacobs on that far side, the left back, and just leaning into him there was Szoboszlai on his defensive duties, but Galatasaray will win the ball back. They have Çakır in goal, back four of Boué, Singo, Bardacci and Jacobs, Lamina Torreira and Sarr in the midfield, Şolay, Osimhen and Yilmaz. As Şolay, who can operate as a right wing back, very versatile Hungarian international. I'm sure he'll try and help out Sacha Boué at every opportunity, but it does lend itself to Galatasaray springing the counter-attack as the ball goes high downfield towards Ekitike, strikes the top of his head, and Boué is there. And then a little slip allows Ekitike to try and get a sniff of the ball, and the defender recovers, and then eventually it goes down the line. But Liverpool have to start this game with a real tempo and urgency.
It's been a lively start. Possession's been turned over 3 or 4 times in the early stages already. But as you say, when Galatasaray have possession, they do have that threat on the counter-attack. Yilmaz, Osimhen and Sarr will get up and in and around Osimhen, and they won't be afraid to play direct, and we know that they're a team that are very, very much in form.
Now Galatasaray, due to a UEFA ban, were not allowed to sell tickets to away supporters due to the throwing of objects, lighting of fireworks and crowd disturbances at Juventus last month. However, there are Galatasaray supporters here in Anfield. They're in a central position in the top tier of the Sekeni Dalglish stand on the far side. I would suggest there is a good 100 who have been surrounded by stewards in their luminous jackets that we can just make out underneath one of the gantries over on that far side. And due to the fanatical support of Galatasaray, I would still expect to see the odd one dotted around as well that might have bought tickets from Liverpool. Here is Salah, unwittingly that is. Salah then stumbles inside the penalty area. Liverpool try and win the ball back. Frimpong is there. Szoboszlai, Kerkez, Ekitike left corner of the box. Ekitike goes for a curler right-footed, off target, goal kick, 0-0, 2.5 minutes played.
Yeah, that started with the all-action. Szoboszlai is playing in that midfield role tonight, which he looks better going forward, in my point of view, in a Liverpool point of view. Oh, Salah there, he dropped inside his full-back in between the centre-half. Nicely weighted ball from Szoboszlai into him, gets into the penalty area, ends up falling over his own feet in the end. Mo Salah had kept himself on side. It was a half an opportunity for him.
10 times Szoboszlai has filled in as a right back, starting a game that is, but he had to be in his more effective position for this game as Liverpool look to try and overturn that 1-0 defeat from Istanbul a week ago. We've already brought you Barcelona 7, Newcastle United 2 as the ball is clipped in long towards Ekitike edge of the area. Şolay tries to run it away. 2 Hungarian internationals tangle, both fall to the floor, and Şolay is due to be the offender. We've got a change of referee actually. It was meant to be Simon Marciniak, but he sustained an injury in the warm-up. So Pavel Ratzkowski, who was the 4th official, they've swapped duties, and the ball-headed Marciniak we can see now wearing his green tracksuit top in between the 2 dugouts down below. So Ratzkowski is now the man in the middle in his ultra-blue referee's jersey, and he gives that free kick in favour of Liverpool that Szoboszlai will take. 0-0 early stages, 5 Live, also available on BBC Sounds, and we welcome listeners from Radio Merseyside to our commentary here tonight. As Szoboszlai goes into the penalty area, and it'll be Yilmaz who controls it, passes the ball out towards Şolay, nicks it away from Szoboszlai, keeps the ball in play himself, but quickly challenged by Wirtz. It'll be a Liverpool throw.
There's a really deep defensive line there from Galatasaray. They know the quality that Liverpool have on free kicks, and I think that's forced them into a deeper line when Szoboszlai was on the ball.
Such was the animated nature of Okan Burak and his displeasure of that throwing going against his side. He actually slipped on the touchline in his dark suit, the Galatasaray scarf draped around his neck. Either that or he's a fan of Harry Potter. Here is Wirtz with a cross. That was blocked. Comes out then to Kirkes. Back inside. McAllister. Konate steps forward. Just left Van Dijk with Osimhen. Into the penalty area. Liverpool go right-hand side. Ball worked out towards Frimpong. Yilmaz on defensive duties. And the assistant referee is adjudged that Frimpong was the offender there. That'll be a free kick to Galatasaray 5 minutes in, goalless.
He's got round him there, Frimpong. He's got goal side of Yilmaz. Harsh decision to give a free kick on Frimpong. He's running away, scratching his head, asking the referee, can't understand why the free kick was given against him. He looked to me like he'd got round the defender. The defender was trying to get his body in between the player and the 18-yard box. Didn't look too much in that for me.
On 8 occasions, Liverpool have lost the away first leg by a 1-goal margin in the European Cup/Champions League. And on 5 occasions of those 8, they've come back to win. Trabzonspor and San Etienne in 76-77. Borussia Mönchengladbach a year later. Helsinki in 82-83. And more recently, Chelsea in 2006-2007. There have been more epic comebacks, as we've already mentioned, Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona. And anything is possible when it's inside Anfield on a European night. However, Liverpool haven't been playing well of late. And certainly even the most ardent Liverpool supporter would have a little bit of optimism drained away from them after that dispiriting draw against Tottenham at the weekend. Talking of which, Chris Coles is at Spurs.
Tottenham 0, Atletico Madrid 0. Atletico with the ball in the back of the Spurs net. Griezmann played it across goal. Lookman put it in, but he was just offside. Just offside. It was Dite. Still Tottenham 0, Atletico Madrid 0. 5-2 to the Spanish on aggregate.
However, here at Anfield, even the Opta supercomputer had this as the most evenly balanced tie for the return legs of the last 16, giving Liverpool only a 58.5% chance of progressing. As Ekitike takes a tumble with Singo, digs the ball out and clears it. Lamina loses out. McAllister's early ball. Here is Wirtz just outside the D. Might have to go it alone. But they're crowded around him. Torreira dispossessed him. His forward ball, though, stopped by Gravenberch. Liverpool come forward now with Van Dijk. McAllister forward of the centre circle. Frimpong to his right. And then Yilmaz dropping back will stop that ball reaching a red shirt, and the white shirts of Galatasaray can clear. But because of the nature of the game, Paul, we saw one earlier whilst we were away with Chris. Çaka, the Turkish international goalkeeper, cleared long, and that's the threat they're going to pose on the break.
It was just one long straight ball over the top. I don't think Liverpool expected the goalkeeper to hit it first time, which he did. The Liverpool defence was pushed up high. Sarah got in behind him. It was a great first touch. There was almost an opportunity for Galatasaray, and that's exactly what they'll be looking to do tonight. They have got the attacking players to cause Liverpool a problem, and as we touched on earlier, they're having a really good season. It will be a difficult side for Liverpool to beat tonight.
Victor Osimhen is the player who's down at the moment. Szoboszlai and Van Dijk are getting a little frustrated. They're having a word with the Polish referee. Also noticed as well that Szoboszlai was trying to whip up the supporters in the Sekeni Dalglish stand on the far side. He was saying after the weekend game, wasn't he, about it's not nice to see the Liverpool supporters leaving early. But I think the Liverpool supporters, since the game has kicked off, have tried to do their best. But the onus is going to be on the players tonight.
Listen, you can only generate an atmosphere. The supporters will come in the stadium and provide an atmosphere. But if they're not enjoying what they're going to see, they've got every right to voice their opinion, which they do at every single ground in Europe. And I think the Liverpool fans have been slightly frustrated at the pedestrian-like way that the team have played this season. Not putting teams away, like perfect example at the weekend against Tottenham. That game should have been done and dusted by half-time, but they were unable to finish games off. And I think seeing early signs tonight, already Mo Salah's tucking inside, Wirtz is looking to come inside. And quite often when I've watched Liverpool this season, they've been far too narrow. But with Frimpong in the team, it gives them that option of the overlapping fullback. There's a little bit more space in wide areas. So hopefully for them tonight, they can use that.
Osimhen hasn't really moved a great deal. I was thinking it was a leg injury, but it's actually an arm injury. They've been spraying his arm. But I'm thinking, get him on his feet and treat him at the side if it's an arm.
Well, the Liverpool players are trying to lift him up. The referee's in between Osimhen and the Liverpool players, saying that he's feigning an injury. The stretcher's up and off the feet down beneath us, but it's clearly not going to be needed because they're all coming together. Osimhen, he's waving his arm about. His arm looks okay.
Yeah. Well, they've provoked such a reaction that I think it's fair to say that that's got him to his feet. As we will go into the Championship, Southampton, Norwich City, Sahel side.
Southampton are leading Norwich by 8-0 and moved down the right-hand side. It was lifted for Finazaz and he lifted it over the Norwich goalkeeper from 6 yards out. Classy finish. Southampton 1, Norwich 0.
I've got a feeling that boy from Osimhen has backfired. Listen to the reaction of the crowd.
Hugely backfired. All it's done is stoke the fire of the Liverpool supporters, hasn't it, over on that far side?
He's now off the field of play and he's being treated for the arm injury that should have happened minutes ago. Common sense has prevailed. 0-0, we're back underway, 5 live. Burts dinks the ball out towards Kirkes near side the left. Kirkes keeps the ball in play. 10 yards inside the Galatasaray half. Back to the Liverpool captain and Van Dijk left-footed. Strokes it. Finds Konate right side of the centre circle on the halfway line. Looks for a run of Salah. Unmarked. Frimpong also darting in off that right touch line. Salah plays it towards the Dutchman. Running now back away from the byline towards Szoboszlai. Infield now towards McAllister. And McAllister towards Van Dijk. Midway through the Galatasaray half. McAllister able to turn. Sees a bit of space. Runs into it. This now is with Gravenberch. Frimpong holds his line on that right-hand side. Goes back in field. Galatasaray still down to 10. Osimhen still not allowed to come back onto the field of play. Here is Wirtz, left corner of the area. His attempted cross was blocked. And then the ball is played away but intercepted. Here is Ekitike, dispossessed by Sara. Kirkes goes in for a 50-50 with Sholoi. Sholoi, though, is surrounded. Liverpool pressing, winning the ball. Here is Ekitike. Ekitike, slow shot. Easily saved by Xhaka in goal.
Overplaying again from Liverpool in a really good attacking area. Rotating possession just outside the 18-yard box. But they battle hard, they dig in and they win the ball back in a dangerous area. Ekitike manages to get a shot away from 22, 23 yards. Doesn't catch it as he would want. It was an easy one for the goalkeeper in the end.
So Southampton are 1-0 up against Norwich. We'll also keep you in touch with MK Dons Colchester in League 2. And in the WSL, half-time West Ham Manchester United, Charlotte Richardson.
West Ham 0, Manchester United 0. Hat-trick of chances for United's Elizabeth Tell, and the best a downward header from across, creeping towards the bottom right corner. Push wide. West Ham 0, Man United 0.
Thanks, Charlotte. 0-0 here. Well, the time-wasting antics have started early from Galatasaray. Now Boué has gone down, holding his ankle. He's back actually at the club for a second spell. He's on loan from Bayern Munich. If he gets the opportunity, he's a very attack-minded right back as Sara's diagonal ball is gathered in safely by Alisson in his dark goalkeeping outfit in front of the Kop away towards our right. 0-0.
Yeah, they've got that attacking threat, Galatasaray, as we've seen in these early stages. They've got fullbacks that will push on. Defensively, they will sit in a defensive shape when Liverpool have the ball, but actually the wide players get wide very quickly when they rotate possession.
Here is Konate. That's the voice of Paul Robinson, the former England international goalkeeper who's with us here on 5 Live as the ball is sliced up in the air by Bardacci. It drops and falls to Sholoi, who holds off Ekitike. Kirkes comes in from the side of him. Liverpool are quick to try and bite into the challenges. Torreira, the former Arsenal player, knocks it up in the air. Downward header by Lemina. Plenty of players in this Galatasaray side who've got experience of the Premier League as Frimpong has gone into a challenge there. And there's a Galatasaray player who has stayed down on that far side. And the referee has got to stop playing. I think it's a head injury. So it's Lemina. Had spells with Fulham, Southampton and Wolves. I don't think the referee had any other alternative but to stop play on that occasion.
Flattered into him, didn't he, Frimpong? I mean, it's the far side of the field for us, but as we've seen on a number of occasions already in this game, the Galatasaray players have taken every opportunity that they can to go to ground. And he puts his arm across him, Frimpong. There was any intent, but he was looking to block the player. Galatasaray players surrounding the referee, saying, was there an elbow involved? I think it was a straight arm just to aid his jump, if you like.
But such was the nature of the collision. Frimpong actually lost his headband as he fell back to the floor. But he's back on his feet. Is Lemina. You have Torreira, who actually scored here for Arsenal in a 5-5 League Cup tie back in 2019. He's actually scored 2 goals in his career at Anfield. Sanchez is suspended, the former Tottenham player. There is a number, and Yasser Asprilla, who's on the bench, Ilkay Gundogan and Leroy Sané. Obviously Manchester City, and Asprilla had a spell at Watford. As here is Szoboszlai. Play back underway, and once again they're down to 10, waiting for Lamina to come back on. He gets the signal now from our Polish referee as Van Dijk chips the ball forward. Kerkez on this near side, the left level of the area, still 0-0 on the night. Galatasaray lead 1-0 on aggregate. Here is Wirtz. Infield to Szoboszlai, central position midway through the Galatasaray half, gives it straight towards Torreira. Yilmaz is tucked in. Sara, the Brazilian, dispossessed by Gravenberch, just took it away off his toes. Kerkez, sprightly, wins it. Gravenberch passes the ball out towards Frimpong. Salah wants it early. Frimpong waits and then they go back.
See that, don't we? So often. They turn inside, keep possession.
Ekitike makes the run. Boué on the cover. Oh, there was a foul from Ekitike on Boué. And that will be a free kick. It's interesting that Salah and Ekitike, they're the front two, but Salah drifts to the right. Ekitike goes to the left. And it's leaving that gap in the middle, isn't it?
And that's where the space is, but they look to keep the possession. And like we say there, everything is very narrow. Frimpong gives them the outlet on the right-hand side. But again, the point you just made there, it was good possession. Frimpong was wide. And rather than push the ball forward in front of Mo Salah or in front of Ekitike, he chooses to come back and pass it to Konate.
It is Burachan Chakur who clears, and Van Dijk climbs high and heads it away powerfully. Boué flicks it forward. Sara didn't have much time on the ball there. Here is Lamina. He's closed down well in the midfield, and McAllister's forward ball. And Salah again coming from that starting position where he's got to make a diagonal run into a central area, allowed the goalkeeper to get there first. Ball in green. Wirtz, his forward ball. Hasn't taken long for the crowd to show their frustration with a few misplaced passes.
Nor Arne Slot either. He's out of his technical area. He's trying to get something onto his team. He wants them to keep possession more. I mean, that's one of the criticisms. He's wanted his defence now higher up the pitch to crunch the pitch, win the ball back. But actually, as you say, what are we? We're just 17 minutes into the game and there's already disgruntlement when passes go astray.
That will be a hangover of the Tottenham game at the weekend, where there was a level of disgruntlement of supporters leaving Anfield, not been seen here for many a year. Salah quickly helps it on. Frimpong right hand side cuts it back. Here is Wirtz. Wirtz into the area. The angle is tight towards the byline. Dinks it back. Ekitike takes it high on the chest. Headed away. Might fall towards Gravenberch. Sliding in was Torreira. And now the play will go for Liverpool. Throw far side the right, 0-0.
Should have headed that Ekitike, surely. I mean, it was brilliant from Wirtz, just inside the 18-yard box. He gets to the byline and he stands it up 6 yards out. It's not the ideal ball for Ekitike. He initially wants it in front of him so he can attack the ball. It was slightly behind him and he just went strangely with his shoulder on top of his chest, whether he could have maybe got a better purchase with his head.
McAllister floats the ball to Kerkez, controls it left corner of the area, but Boué got the challenge in, picked up by Van Dijk, who with a dismissive wave of his right hand asks players to go on ahead of him. He carries it to about 30 yards from goal. McAllister then is square. Here now is Gravenberch. Gravenberch has Frimpong to his right, gets it then back from Salah. Forward ball to Wirtz, enters the area, inside right channel. Frimpong now to his right. He cuts the ball back, and Torreira, unmarked, just inside his own penalty area, had the awareness to head the ball back towards goal and to be gathered in by Chakur.
The two pieces of good play that we've just seen from Liverpool there, funnily enough, have come from wide areas when they played outside the width of the 18-yard box. First the cross from Wirtz and then the cross from Frimpong.
Liverpool, 19 minutes in, have had the better of possession, but they've only had really an Ekitike low shot to match the possession that they've had so far in the opening stages of this game. Galatasaray, who remember beat Liverpool also by a goal to 0 in Istanbul in the league phase, and leading from that first leg a week ago by that scoreline. Ekitike, McAllister, 30 yards out, central position. Szoboszlai gives it to McAllister. Torreira goes down saying he was fouled. The referee says play on. McAllister continues his run, and Bardacci cuts it out, and it goes out for a throw. Liverpool, though, are not creating a great deal for all their possession.
No, and how many times have we heard that story this season? I mean, that's a story as well off the back of the weekend game against Tottenham. They have a lot of possession in very good areas, but are just not decisive, quick enough and active enough to create the final chance or an opportunity on goal.
So Torreira has stayed down. The physios are on to treat him, the Uruguayan international. Meanwhile, we mentioned earlier about Osimhen being down for a lengthy time with an arm injury. He's holding that right arm. It's already got strapping on it, actually, and he's now wandering across to have a word with Okan Burak.
It'll be a disappointing blow for Galatasaray if Osimhen is to go off. You know what an important player he is for them. And actually, I was watching their warm-up, and when they did the possession drills in the box, he looked really lively, he looked sharp, he looked up for it. He's almost running around, kicking his own players. I'd be surprised if he comes off, but he does look like he's struggling. Incidentally, he's wearing a mask as well, isn't he, tonight?
Yeah, so Osimhen just having a word as the song of Diogo Jota, always powerful, reverberates around Anfield. And because there are no designated away supporters, that entire Anfield Road end away towards our left, where normally you'd have that little quadrant, that little section for the away supporters, it is all red and white, with the exception of the 100 underneath the Sekeni Dalglish stand over on that far side, hoping to see their team wipe away that deficit from last week as Wirtz has played back underway with a right-footed effort that was always on the rise. It was a little wayward and goes out for a goal kick, and it remains 0-0 on the night.
It does look great, doesn't it? With the red and white all the way around the stadium. I know the away supporters, they've got to come into the stadium somewhere, but at other stadiums we see them putting the corners high up out the way. But you'll never walk alone. It just seemed a little bit more special, didn't it? Because the whole wrap-around effect, it was quite a scene.
Well, we could be looking at a record crowd for a European game at Anfield, should it surpass the 60,043 against Karabakh earlier in the campaign, which was actually the first 60,000 plus European attendance ever at Anfield. It's 0-0 though, and McAllister's downward header, and Torreira manages to knock it back towards Bardacci, who steps forward out of defence. Sara, the Brazilian, left-hand side, formerly of Norwich, back towards Torreira. He's forced Yilmaz out wide. It's going to run out of play. In fact, Sara was actually called up for the first time this week by Carlo Ancelotti to the Brazil squad, where they'll face France in Boston and Croatia in Orlando. Later this month for the two friendly internationals, the former Norwich man, 93 appearances and 21 goals in his 2 years at Carrow Road.
What did he say? Ancelotti had a great quote, didn't he? I'm not here to play legends, I'm here to win a World Cup or something, when he was asked about Neymar.
Oh, Neymar's admission,
His press conference this week was a very interesting listen if you haven't heard it.
Yeah. Brentford's Thiago, though, has also had his maiden call-up too, and thoroughly deserved. 0-0 though here. Boué, the right back for Galatasaray. Sholoi hits it early. Well, Osimhen is running okay, but he's holding that right arm and he's not moving freely as a result. Liverpool go long up towards Ekitike, and he runs back to Ekitike. Kirke's not used on the overlap. Ekitike instead spreads play towards Frimpong. Right corner of the area, Yilmaz, who's doubling up on that left-hand side with Jacobs. Soaking up this possession from Liverpool, defending in numbers in their white shirts. Here is Wirtz to Frimpong. Tries to create an opening now. Frimpong now towards Salah, miscontrols it, breaks away from him, and it'll be picked up by the goalkeeper, Çakır. 23 and a half minutes played, still 0-0.
Without doubt, Liverpool have been the better side. They've had more of the possession. They've had the possession in dangerous territorial areas as well, but they just haven't done anything with it. You don't recall the goalkeeper having to make any type of save. Yes, Liverpool have dominated the ball, they've dominated the area of territorial possession, but just without any real end product again.
Wirtz, his forward ball, easily cut out by Jacobs, able to bring it down off the chest. Sara thought he was fouled, the referee says not. Gravenberg, lay off by Szoboszlai. Coming forward now is McAllister. First time shot blocked. Wirtz now picks it up, takes a deflection, and that will loop behind for a corner kick. And Liverpool get a corner far side the right, 0-0.
Yeah, that was a good piece of play by Florian Wirtz, just on the edge of the 18-yard box. First touch into the box, sets it on his left foot. He was heading towards the far bottom left-hand corner. Takes a deflection off Bowie. Gives Liverpool a corner over on that far side.
McAllister runs over. Liverpool are attacking the Anfield Road end, playing from right to left. And it remains goalless on the night. Galatasaray have got every white shirt back inside their own penalty area. It's a zonal marking system from Galatasaray. Outswinging corner, edge of the area. Szoboszlai meets it first time and scores. Liverpool's man of the season with the goal that Anfield craved 25 minutes in. First time to perfection. 1-0.
It's a wonderful, wonderful free set corner kick. It really is a well-worked set play from Liverpool. Everybody charges into the 6-yard box, but the Galatasaray players, they're surrounding the referee. They feel that Shaloi was interfered with by Konate as the ball came in. Some of the Galatasaray players were blocked because the ball comes across the floor of the 18-yard box. It's an outswinger. All the red shirts charge into the 6-yard box. Szoboszlai arrives late and he caresses it with the inside of his right foot. An unstoppable shot, but it's Konate at the far post. The referee and the VAR will look to see if he has actually taken Shaloi out of the game, which has allowed Szoboszlai the finish. Maybe he has, but I think it's probably too far away. I don't think he would have got there, you know. I think if this is ruled out and looked at, which I think they've done it and checked it very quickly, it would have been harsh. It's a super set play from Liverpool.
Well, Dominic Szoboszlai takes his tally for 12. I remember being in San Siro at the start of the Champions League campaign last season, and Arne Slot was saying that he set Szoboszlai a goal tally. A little push there from Wirtz with Singer, who he reacts a little angrily to. But he's now contributing the goals. What was it? 7 goals in his first season, 8 goals last. And bearing in mind he's played a lot at right back, that's 12 now for the campaign. And it was superbly executed.
He's been Liverpool's best player this season, bar none. He's been excellent. He's been their most versatile and he's been their most reliable. You know what type of performance you're going to get from him week in and week out. The free kicks that we've seen him execute have been absolutely sensational. Some of the goals, I was here for the Manchester City free kick, the movement and the pace that he gets on the ball. And just for that goal there, his arrival into the box was so perfectly timed. A really well-worked set play from Liverpool, it was.
Harry Kane scored from the spot. Bayern Munich are leading Atalanta by a goal to 0, so that's 7-1 on aggregate. Liverpool are leading by a goal to 0. It's 1-1 on aggregate. And the Liverpool supporters in every area of Anfield are up on their feet and swirling those red and white scarves around their head. Dominic Szoboszlai with a goal that Liverpool wanted. Brings them level in the tie. And this now is going to be a test of Galatasaray as another player has gone down and there'll be a stoppage here just to try and disrupt Liverpool's play and try and stop that momentum. It's Singo who's down.
Yeah, they've been trying that from the start, Galatasaray. Singo is clearly okay. I mean, he's got backup plays underway, but they're taking every opportunity to go to ground and try and stop the play, break up, stopping Liverpool getting any type of rhythm.
Here is Salah, that was a mistake, good save by the goalkeeper, and then he gathers it in at the rebound. Liverpool were almost gifted that was a mistake at the back, it was a weak back pass. Salah was onto it in a flash, and just couldn't dink it over Checker.
It looked like nothing of an occasion, it looked like Galatasaray were in comfortable possession of the ball. It was Bardashi, he chose to head it back to his goalkeeper. One of those instances where you don't see the opposition player in that split second behind your own player. And for a second, Mo Salah was in. Goalkeeper came rushing out and Salah tried to dink it over him. And for the goalkeeper's point of view, put out a good left arm and made a decent save. But actually, Mo Salah in that area, you would expect him to at least, well, you'd expect him to score, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Here is Kerkez near side the left. Back towards Van Dijk. Liverpool lead 1-0. Van Dijk just goes back to Alisson and just says calm down. They're in control. Torreira bursts forward and try and put pressure on the Liverpool goalkeeper. Hoist it out to this near side and it will go out for a Galatasaray throw. Liverpool aren't happy with that challenge from Boué on Kerkez as Arne Slot makes his feelings known to the referee, the Polish referee Paweł Raczkowski. Ekatike picks it up for Liverpool over the halfway line. Salah's ahead of him. Frimpong joins the attack. Ekatike wants to go it alone. He was bundled over inside the area. Well, I can't help but feel that the better option was to pass the ball to his right. Yilmaz, meanwhile, will break. And there was no foul on Yilmaz from Konate, who he now complains to the referee.
He's going to have to be careful, the referee. This is getting away from him.
become a little stretched, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very open, and actually he's letting a lot go, and he's letting far too much go. Both managers down on the touchline, extremely animated in the ear of the fourth official. There's a lot of challenges going unpunished.
What about that break from Ekatike? He had Salah and Frimpong.
Did you see Salah's body language?
Yeah.
He was absolutely raging. There was two opportunities where Ekatike could have played him in. Salah had made a superb run, and in the first instance he was absolutely wide open. Ekatike chose to take it on another 10 yards, and the pass was still on, and then he took it into the 18-yard box, and the opportunity just closed in on him.
So Liverpool are ahead against Galatasaray. Here is Ekatike on the edge of the area, rolls his man well into the box. Ekatike still going, and Galatasaray don't clear. First, he's put it over. That could easily have been a second. It went behind for a corner kick. There's been a goal though at Tottenham. Chris Coles.
It's for Tottenham, just what Spurs needed. They'd lead Atleti 1-0 on the night. Randall Cromwani, a header into the corner. Andy Reid, this place has come alive.
Yeah, the fans are on board now. Tottenham playing quite well, actually. It was a really good goal. Great ball into the box from Tell, and a lovely glancing header from Cromwani. And they've done well in this game so far. They've really gone on the front foot, and they deserve that goal.
1-0 Spurs, 5-3 Atleti on aggregate.
Cheers, Chris. Cheers, Andy. Liverpool have a corner kick far side to right. In it comes now. It goes deep towards the far post. Van Dijk's header off the crossbar. He headed it back goalwards. Not too sure who got the final touch when Van Dijk claimed ever so well. It was McAllister stooping inside the 6-yard area. Off the crossbar, the referee stopped play.
Another super set play from Liverpool. Really well worked. That was a more simple corner. In swinger from Salah right to the back post. Van Dijk rises completely unchallenged. Heads it back across the 6-yard line. Actually inside the 6-yard box, 2 yards from goal. Can you say that McAllister was actually too close? The ball arrives at him and he gets under it. He ducks to head the ball instead of just putting his forehead on the ball and heading it straight. McAllister ducks to head it up and over, and he doesn't need to, and he heads it up and onto the underside of the crossbar. Again, should score.
Since the goal that was for Liverpool in the 25th minute, in the next 7 minutes, Liverpool have created 3 opportunities. The mistake by Bardacci that almost let in Salah, Wirtz who blazed it over with the aid of a deflection from Lamina, and then McAllister's just hit the crossbar.
And that's an awful challenge by Sarr there on Canate. Goalkeeper goes long, Sarr just jumps into Canate. I think the referee on the changeover has forgotten to take the yellow cards out with him, because that was a blatant yellow card.
Ball goes long, headed away by Singo, back towards Wirtz, holds on to the ball, pulls it back towards Szoboszlai. What a strike that was, and what a save. Xhaka at full stretch, away to his left. But he struck that oh so sweetly, Szoboszlai.
It's just a pleasure to watch him strike a football, it really is. That wasn't an easy technique. He's 25 yards out from goal. The ball's rolling across his body, he lets it come onto his right foot, and he almost hits the knuckleball on a moving ball. It's a brilliant strike, a brilliant connection. It's drifting away from the goalkeeper. Ends up in a comfortable save, but it's tested him from a distance. Really good strike from Szoboszlai.
That's why he has to play in his best position. Here is Kerkez. Kerkez now running forward. Wants the return ball from Ekatike. Ekatike holds on to it. And there is activity on the Galatasaray bench. So whether Osimhen is unable to continue, he continues to hold that right forearm of his. Here is Gravenberch. Liverpool are leading by a goal to nil. It means it's 1-1 on aggregate. Spurs are ahead on the night 1-0, but Atletico Madrid lead 5-3 overall. Ekatike can't keep the ball in play in the Championship. Half-time at St Mary's Sahel side.
Southampton 1, Norwich 0. Southampton's second best but lead through a Finaz's goal. His desire to be first to the ball from a throw-in proved decisive. You feel there's still more to come from both teams. Half-time Southampton 1, Norwich 0.
Thank you, Sahel. Galatasaray's change is, I would imagine, for Osimhen. It is the number 77 that is Noah Lang, who I've got to say, I was surprised he didn't necessarily start. He's on loan from Napoli, the Dutch international, left-sided winger. But we'll see him. I can only imagine it will be Osimhen, because he can hardly move that right arm of his. Yilmaz, meanwhile, runs forward. Jacobs getting forward, and they get a corner kick to Galatasaray 10 minutes before half-time.
He's a passenger, is Osimhen, at the moment. He's playing within the width of the goal, just running up and down the pitch, keeps looking over to the bench. awaiting a substitution. You can see he's not comfortable. The arm's heavily strapped, and he's not been right, and he's deteriorated ever since the injury.
Corner kick then for Galatasaray. Still the jeopardy remains though in this game because a Galatasaray goal and the complexion of the tie changes once again. Liverpool have levelled it on aggregate at the moment, 1 apiece. It's going to be a corner on that far side, the left in front of the Kop. This should be an outswinger. Bardacci is forward from the back. In it comes now. Doesn't beat the first man, headed away by Kirkes. We're live on 5 Live, the BBC Sounds app as well as Radio Merseyside tonight, as Yilmaz, under real pressure on the halfway line, has to go back to his goalkeeper, who now will clear away towards our left. Xhaka, and it's headed back by Van Dijk towards the halfway line. Bowie clattered into by Wirtz. Don't think there was any attempt to play the ball by Wirtz, and the Galatasaray right back has stayed down, and that will be the free kick for Galatasaray. And yet they still haven't made the change.
No, he's put his training top back on, Dolang. He was stripped and ready to come on, stood almost at the side of the pitch at the edge of the technical area. He's now turned around, put his tracksuit top and bib back on and disappeared to our left to keep dancing over the cones.
And here is Osman, brings it down off his thigh with his back to goal, back to Yilmaz. Off balance, couldn't control the ball. Bringing the ball out of defence is Szoboszlai, hits it early. Cut out by Bardacci to stop it from reaching Salah. His ball down that left-hand side. Yilmaz tries to roll away from Frimpong. Osman was walking back from an offside position. Can't make any attempt to play the ball. Allows Konate to give it to Van Dijk and he sweeps it downfield. And now left-hand side of the penalty area is Ekitike. And closing him down was Bowie. And that will be a throw right down by the corner flag as Liverpool lead by 1-0 on the night. 5 Live.
Yeah, we've got to turn this dominance into goals now, Liverpool. As like Mark said before the game, you don't need to go into the latter stages of this game with it finally balanced, needing a goal or needing to keep the clean sheet to actually qualify. They're dominating this game. They're by far the better team. Go and exert your dominance on the score sheet.
There was a predictable nature about the outcome for the game against Tottenham at the weekend after the chances that Liverpool had missed in the first half and then were unable to put the game to bed. They certainly won't want a repeat against Galatasaray here tonight as Salah can't get onto the end of that forward ball as it kicks off the surface and races away from him into the Anfield Road end and out for a goal kick. And we've got 8 minutes to go to half time. Tomorrow night, more European action live on 5 Live. Aston Villa against Lille in the Europa League. Saturday's 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman from 12. Fulham Burnley is actually the only Saturday 3 o'clock game. Decision making was quite easy this Saturday afternoon. It'll be followed by Everton Chelsea at 5:30, but we'll have scores and the usual goal service from around the grounds. And on Sunday, Tottenham Nottingham Forest at 2:15, and then Arsenal Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final from Wembley at 4:30 on Sunday. So a lot of live football to look forward to on BBC Radio 5 Live. Liverpool still 1-0, Paul.
Yeah, what a cracking weekend to look forward to, and I think that's going to be what we're saying between now and the end of the season, isn't it? There's so much jeopardy still left in this Premier League season, so many questions still to be answered.
Alisson chips the ball away downfield. Singo brushes off his hair, gets the aerial challenge before Ekitike, but mopping up was Boue behind him. Sholoi then infield. He was caught late. And the referee's going to give that free kick as we'll get an update from Chris Coles at Tottenham.
Tottenham 1, Atletico Madrid 0. Spurs so close to a second, which would take them within 1. Matis Tel, who's having a good game, clean through, left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Musso in the Atleti goal. Spurs are on top. They lead 1-0 on the night, 5-3 Atleti on aggregate.
And they're looking to try and do what Deportivo de La Coruña did against Milan, Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, Roma, Barcelona, Liverpool, Barcelona, and more recently the other night, in fact last night, Sporting against Bodo Glimt, where teams have overturned a 3-goal deficit in a Champions League knockout tie. Here is Sara on the edge of the area for Galatasaray. The ball is back towards Torreira, to Yilmaz. Yilmaz now comes forward. Yilmaz on the left-hand side. Yilmaz sends over the cross. Osman heads it off target. Goal kick, Liverpool 1-0.
And all those teams that you just reeled off, did you know that Deportivo La Coruña were the only ones to do it to the reigning champions? That's what task Chelsea were faced with last night, and the only team to have ever done it were Deportivo against AC Milan.
Yeah, and in fact, I remember La Riazor Stadium when you with Leeds United reached the semi-finals. You won 3-0 at Ellen Road in the first leg, and Deportivo La Coruña really should have done it that night as well.
Yeah, they were in a very different place to what they are now. Deportivo La Coruña, Leeds United and Deportivo, two teams that have seen the lower reaches of their own country's divisions between now and that time, haven't they?
Yeah, here is Frimpong. And somehow Leeds managed to escape with just a 2-0 defeat and edge their way through. That was a quarter-final from memory, wasn't it? Yeah, nod of the head from Paul Robinson. Memory is still serving me well as Liverpool are attacking on the right-hand side, and then it breaks down, and Lamina and Bardacci are able to give it to Jacobs, who will clear it away. And in fact, we'll go to Paul Gilmore at MK Dons in League Two.
MK Dons with the deserved breakthrough. Aaron Collins, the former Colchester loanee, scores from close range. 39 minutes played, MK Dons 1, Colchester 0.
Liverpool attacking through Salah right-hand side, and Bardacci has to show his strength and then nudges the ball behind for a corner kick. Liverpool still have a slender lead on the night, but they're looking for the decisive second goal. They've got a corner right-hand side.
It shows their dominance, and look at the goalkeeper, Alisson, and I'm not sure that he's actually touched the ball with his gloves other than to retrieve it for a goal kick. I think he's been very underemployed, which is obviously what Liverpool want, but the possession has been good for Liverpool without any real end product other than the goal. They're by far the better team.
And they lead deservedly by a 0-0. They have a corner. They scored from a corner last time. This time it comes direct in towards the far post. Van Dijk again will head it back goalwards. It drops. It's spilt by the goalkeeper. The referee's blown his whistle. They're saying he was unfairly challenged. What did you make of that as a former keeper?
McAllister put himself exactly where the goalkeeper wanted to land, which is very, very difficult for a goalkeeper. Sometimes you don't have to make that much contact, but when a goalkeeper goes up in the air, you stand where the goalkeeper wants to land and you give him a nudge on the way, knocks him off balance, and it always looks worse than it is. McAllister just bends down right as the goalkeeper goes up. It's a difficult one for the goalkeeper to take. It was a foul on him.
Çakır, the Turkish number one, who they signed in the summer on a 5-year deal from Trabzonspor, and actually kept 3 successive clean sheets before tonight. However, they've struggled to keep clean sheets in Europe. They've only kept 3 in their last 33 European games, and 2 of those were against Liverpool, both of course in the games in Istanbul. Liverpool are the ones who are leading 1-0 here at Anfield. 5 Live and Radio Merseyside as Szoboszlai, the goal scorer, plays it out long towards Kerkez. Şolay will challenge him, and it will go for a Liverpool throw. And we've got 2.5 minutes to go to half-time here. And Kerkez, who in front of this main stand, waits to take it. Ekitike makes himself available, just creates that little bit of space, able to knock it back to Konate, outside the centre circle, his forward ball, back towards Konate inside the Galatasaray half, at a walking pace. And Konate waits for some movement. It comes in the shape of Frimpong, but he passes the ball towards Salah, dink back towards Salah, cut out. Lamina, backpedaling, hooks it only as far as Ekitike, edge of the area, holds onto the ball, turns 25 yards out from goal, and then knocks the ball to the centre circle along the ground towards Van Dijk. Passes it forward towards Szoboszlai. Ekitike with the ball at his feet, edge of the area, puts his right foot on the ball. Szoboszlai strokes it. This is McAllister now coming forward. Wirtz has drifted to the left corner of the area. It's his cross over the head of Ekitike. Tucked in was Jacobs to head it away. Lamina just inside his penalty area heads it further clear. But that loose ball will run towards Wirtz. Liverpool stroked inside now by Wirtz to Szoboszlai. 90 seconds remain in this first half. Liverpool lead by a 0-0. Kerkez, 6 yards inside the Galatasaray half, comes to a standstill. Everybody but Osimhen is behind the ball as Wirtz being pulled back by Boe. Now towards Szoboszlai, forced a fraction further back than he maybe wanted. To Frimpong right-hand side. Yilmaz dispossesses him and Yilmaz can run forward. But we've seen nothing from Galatasaray in an attacking entity.
Liverpool are in full control of this game. Full control. And it's now, but they're in a position that they've got themselves back into. We're all level. And they now need to be patient. They need to move the ball quick when they get into the final third, but they don't need to take any risks now by opening up and putting players forward and leaving themselves exposed. They're in complete control.
Kerkez sweeps over the cross. Frimpong has to bring that ball under control as he just rode up in front of him. Comes out towards Szoboszlai. Fires it back in. Cleared away by Singo. Drops towards Frimpong right-hand side of the area. On the half volley. Bounces off the leg of Salah. And out of play it goes for a goal kick. 61% in terms of possession for Liverpool. They've had 10 shots, 5 have been on target, but they only have the 1 goal to show for it. Tottenham Atletico Madrid, Chris Coles.
Atletico Madrid pressure. They've had 2 good chances. Julian Alvarez from range just over the top. And a couple of moments ago, Simeone's shot deflected. Big deflection off Romero. Vicario makes an excellent save to keep the score at Tottenham 1, Atleti 0, and 5-3 Atletico on aggregate.
And we are going to have 5 minutes of added time here at Anfield of this first half, where Liverpool are leading 1-0. Remember, Bayern, it was a formality, that one anyway, wasn't it, against Atalanta, leading 6-1 from the first leg. Harry Kane, though, giving them a 7-1 aggregate lead, and they will be away to Real Madrid in the first leg of the quarter-finals.
You've seen them live this year, Deno, Bayern Munich?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Good enough?
I'd like to see them against... Yeah, actually, I would say that, yeah.
He looked strong. Real Madrid certainly looked strong the other night.
Yeah. We've seen the strength of Barcelona tonight, beating Newcastle United 7-2 to go through 8-3 at aggregate. Xhaka clears, and it will run straight out of play. Well, the Galatasaray game plan I don't think has changed, has it?
They've offered very, very little going forward. Like we say, Alisson's been extremely underemployed, other than when his Liverpool defenders have chose to use him in the build-up play. They've put the ball long. They've had 1 or 2 opportunities where they might have got in behind, but that's soon been closed out, but from the Liverpool defenders.
That's the views of Paul Robinson, who's with us here on 5 Live Sport tonight. Arne Slot applauding. Liverpool, though, still have work to do. The tie's still very much in the balance, despite Liverpool leading 1-0. And only until Liverpool get a 2-goal cushion would I think anybody inside Anfield feel relatively secure about progression in this competition. It is so important to them. 6 times winners of Europe's elite competition. Frimpong is sent scampering away on that right-hand side. Coming forward now, level the area. Yilmaz has done well on that defensive duty. That looked like a dive by Szoboszlai. If he was caught by Jacobs, he certainly threw himself forward, but the referee's given the penalty. To the naked eye, that just looked like an exaggerated dive from Szoboszlai. The way that he just threw himself forward in the air, he was propelled, and Jacobs is going to complain. VAR will naturally have a check, but a penalty for Liverpool has been awarded.
Well, he's taken a tumble, Dominic Szoboszlai, inside the penalty box, and he's nearly landed on the advertising hoardings on the far side stand. He kicks out Jacobs, he looks to pass the ball, he plays the ball away. We're just getting to see the replay now. Szoboszlai goes fully committed, gets there first.
No.
Can't tell whether there was any contact there or not. He looks like he might have pulled his foot away just in time, Jacobs. Szoboszlai's going over to Jacobs, putting his arms in the air. He's actually got his sock rolled down, he's got a slight cut on his leg. VAR are going to take a quick look at this, but I think, listen, if there's contact, it's not going to be overturned. I mean, It was a massively over-exaggerated dive. He put both of his feet together, and he must have dived 5 or 6 yards. There was contact there, but he certainly let the referee know there was contact there by the way he went to ground.
You're right, you've summed it up perfectly. There was contact, but it was an exaggerated, as he propelled himself forward, but he's won the penalty, and I think that's the key word. Szoboszlai has won the penalty. It has been awarded. After VAR, they've had a check, and Mo Salah, with the opportunity to give Liverpool the lead in the tie. They're already 1-0 up on the night. And Mo Salah, whose record from the spot is normally exemplary. He waits, it's a straight run-up, then he moves to his right, runs up forward now, left-footed, oh, it's saved! It's saved, he tried to dink it. Not quite the Panenka, it was like a left-footed flat ball, and it was saved by the legs of Xhaka as it's gone straight down through the middle.
We've seen him take that penalty a number of times. He's just gone to try and lift it down the middle. It's half a Panenka, isn't it? It's just, he waits for the goalkeeper to go, and then he takes the pace and power, and he just tries to do that side foot into the middle of the goal. But he gets the execution of it wrong. He puts a little bit too much curl on it, and the goalkeeper saves it with his right leg, trailing right leg. It's a poor penalty, and he knows it.
He'd previously scored 55 out of 66 spot kicks in his career. It is a rare miss, and Mo Salah had an opportunity there for his 50th goal in the Champions League that was spurned, and Xhaka made the save with his legs.
And do you know what, Ian? The goalkeeper went so early as well. If Salah had just looked up, he could have rolled it into the opposite corner. Real opportunity there, gone for Liverpool.
Scored from the spot against Brighton and Burnley, not on this occasion. Now Yilmaz can run forward in stoppage time. Liverpool then still only lead by a goal to nil. Galatasaray edge of the area, a rare foray into the Liverpool half. Sholoi squeezes the ball out towards Jacobs. Sholoi with a header, and it was easily saved by Alisson, just dropping down to his left.
Well, if they needed a warning, Liverpool, there it is. Good ball in from the left-hand side. The fullback Jacobs pushing on. For me, he's been the best player. Sholoi in the Galatasaray shirt gets across the front, glances a header down to Alisson's left. It's a very comfortable save for the Liverpool goalkeeper.
Here is Wirtz. Wirtz still going. Wirtz tees up Salah. Teller saved. Wirtz on the rebound, saved again. Here is Szoboszlai, heads it forward. That second goal will just not come for Liverpool as Gravenberch fires this one in, slips, and then Jacobs will go back towards the goalkeeper, and there is the half-time whistle. Liverpool lead Galatasaray 1-0. Paul Robinson.
How many chances do they